Welcome, fellow culinary adventurers, to a journey that will tantalize your taste buds and maybe even test your nerve. I'm Who Knows, and if you believe, like I do, that food is the ultimate gateway to understanding culture, then you've come to the right place. We're about to embark on an extreme food adventure, peeling back the wrapper on traditions and flavors that might seem unusual, challenging, or downright daring to some, but are cherished delicacies to others. This isn't just about shock value, it's about discovery, understanding, and celebrating the incredible diversity of the human palate. Today we're diving headfirst into a world where bizarre is just a matter of perspective. We'll be exploring some of the most talked about, sometimes misunderstood, and truly extreme foods from every corner of the globe. From the depths of the ocean to the heart of ancient traditions, these dishes tell a story of survival, celebration, ingenuity, and taste. So, buckle up, keep an open mind, and prepare to have your culinary horizons expanded. This is where the real flavor is, folks, often found far from the familiar. This is just the beginning, the first course in our multi-part extreme food series. We've got so much ground to cover, so many astonishing bites to share, that we couldn't possibly fit it all into one episode. So if you're ready to challenge your perceptions and join us on this incredible gastronomic quest, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's cooking in part 2 and beyond. Let the adventure begin. Our first stop takes us to Japan, the land of precision, tradition, and a fish that literally holds the power of life and death in its delicate flesh, fugu, the pufferfish. Now, I've eaten a lot of things in my travels, but there's a unique thrill, a certain frisson that comes with knowing your meal could be your last if not prepared with absolute mastery. This isn't just food, it's a high-stakes culinary gamble, a testament to the skill of chefs who train for years, sometimes a decade, to earn the license to serve it. They learn to identify and meticulously remove the highly toxic organs, primarily the liver and ovaries, where tetrodotoxin, a poison hundreds of times more potent than cyanide, resides. The preparation of fugu is nothing short of a sacred ritual. Watching a master fugu chef at work is like witnessing a surgeon in the operating room. Every slice, every movement is precise, deliberate, and steeped in generations of knowledge. The knives, or fugu hiki, are specialized, razor-sharp tools, allowing for paper-thin slices that are often arranged into beautiful chrysanthemum-like patterns, a poetic nod perhaps to the flower often associated with funerals, yet also a symbol of longevity. It's this juxtaposition of danger and artistry that makes fugu so captivating. The chef isn't just cutting fish, they're disarming a deadly weapon and transforming it into a delicacy. And what about the taste, you ask? Once stripped of its lethal potential, fugu offers a remarkably subtle, clean, and slightly chewy texture. It's often served as sashimi, allowing its delicate flavor to shine, sometimes accompanied by ponzu sauce and momoji oroshi, grated daikon radish with chili. Some connoisseurs report a slight numbing sensation on the lips or tongue, a faint, thrilling reminder of the fish's potent nature. Though perfectly prepared, fugu should not cause this. It's a flavor that whispers rather than shouts, demanding your full attention to appreciate its nuances. The experience is as much psychological as it is gustatory. Fugu is more than just a meal in Japan, it's a cultural icon, a symbol of culinary excellence, and for some, a rite of passage. It represents a deep respect for nature's power and humanity's ability to navigate its complexities. While the risk is undeniable, the tradition persists, fueled by the allure of its unique taste and the profound trust placed in the hands of those who prepare it. It's a dish that commands respect, and tasting it is an unforgettable experience, a true walk on the wild side of gastronomy. It makes you appreciate the skill, the tradition, and the sheer audacity of it all. Next, we journey to the Philippines, a land of vibrant culture and equally vibrant street food. Here we encounter balut, a food that often raises eyebrows among outsiders but is a beloved protein-packed snack for locals. What is balut? In essence, it's a fertilized duck egg, typically incubated for 14 to 21 days, then boiled or steamed and eaten directly from the shell. The key here is the stage of development. You're not just getting yolk and white, you're getting a partially developed duck embryo, complete with tiny bones, feathers, and a beak, depending on its age. It's a common sight at night markets, sold by vendors calling out its name. The experience of eating balut is a ritual in itself. First, you crack a small hole at the top of the egg and sip the warm, savory broth, a flavorful liquid that's surprisingly comforting. This soup, as it's often called, is a prelude to the main event. Then, you peel away more of the shell to reveal the contents. The yolk, which is rich and creamy, similar to a regular hard-boiled egg yolk but often more intense, the bato or rock, which is the hardened albumin that can be quite tough and is sometimes discarded, and of course the embryo itself. For many first-timers, this is the most challenging part visually and texturally. The taste and texture are complex. The broth is savory and brothy as mentioned. The yolk is rich. The embryo itself can be surprisingly tender with a unique texture that combines soft and slightly crunchy elements from the developing bones. Seasonings are key. A dash of salt, a splash of spicy vinegar, or a combination of both, are typically added to enhance the flavors and cut through the richness. Many Filipinos believe balut is an aphrodisiac and a source of strength, often consumed late at night or as a hearty snack. It's a food that's deeply ingrained in the local culinary landscape. Beyond the initial shock factor some might experience, balut is a fascinating example of utilizing available resources and creating a nutrient-dense food. It's a testament to the Filipino philosophy of nose-to-tail eating, or in this case, egg to embryo. It's a food born from practicality, now a cherished part of the culture, enjoyed by people from all walks of life. To truly understand a food like balut, you have to look past its appearance and appreciate its place within the culture that created and continues to celebrate it. It's a true taste of the Philippines. Our culinary compass now points north, way north, to the dramatic landscapes of Iceland, home to a dish that's as legendary for its challenging aroma as it is for its Viking heritage. Hakkarl. This is fermented Greenland shark, or sometimes basking shark, and let me tell you, its reputation precedes it. The shark meat is poisonous when fresh due to high levels of uric acid and trimethylamine oxide. The Vikings, resourceful as ever, developed a unique fermentation process to render it edible, a process that involves burying the shark in a shallow pit, pressing it with stones to drain the fluids, and then hanging it to dry for several months. The result is a food with an aroma that can only be described as potent. The overwhelming smell of ammonia is the first thing that hits you, a scent so strong it can make your eyes water and your knees buckle if you're not prepared. This is not for the faint of heart or nose. The shark meat itself is cut into small pale cubes, often served on toothpicks. For Icelanders, hakkarl is more than just food. It's a link to their ancestors, a symbol of resilience in a harsh environment, and a traditional part of their Thorablat midwinter festival. It's a taste of history preserved through centuries. Taking your first bite of hakkarl is a true test of culinary courage. The texture is often described as chewy, rubbery, or even like dense cheese. The flavor is intensely fishy, with that strong ammonia overtone lingering. Many first-timers find it incredibly challenging, and it's often chased down with a shot of Brennivin, Iceland's signature caraway-flavored schnapps, affectionately known as Black Death. The strong spirit helps to cleanse the palate and perhaps steady the nerves. It's a pairing that makes perfect sense once you've experienced the full force of hakkarl. But why, you might ask, would anyone eat something so intense? For Icelanders, it's a matter of tradition and national pride. It represents the ingenuity of their forebears in surviving in a land of fire and ice. While younger generations might not eat it regularly, it remains an important cultural touchstone. And for the adventurous food traveler, trying hakkarl is an unforgettable experience, a way to connect with Iceland's rugged spirit and ancient past. It's a reminder that what one culture considers extreme, another holds dear. Chapter 4. From the icy waters of Iceland we travel to Sweden, another Nordic country with a penchant for fermented fish. This time it's surströmming, a Baltic sea herring that undergoes a unique fermentation process, resulting in what is arguably one of the most pungent foods on the planet. The herring is caught in spring, salted lightly, and then allowed to ferment in barrels for 1 to 2 months before being canned. Crucially, the fermentation continues in the can, which often causes the cans to bulge noticeably, a telltale sign of the potent contents within. Opening a can of surströmming is an event in itself, and it's strongly advised to do it outdoors, and perhaps even underwater to mitigate the overpowering odor. The smell is a complex, eye-watering concoction of rotten eggs, rancid butter and pungent vinegar, all dialed up to 11. This aroma has made surströmming infamous worldwide, sparking countless viral challenge videos, particularly in places like Japan and Korea, where extreme food challenges are popular. But beneath that formidable scent lies a traditional Swedish delicacy that has been enjoyed for centuries, especially in northern Sweden. Traditionally, surströmming is eaten in a klämma, a type of sandwich made with tunnbröd, butter, boiled potatoes, often almond potatoes, diced onion, and sometimes sour cream, or chives. The fish itself is typically rinsed and filleted, with the strong-tasting roe sometimes eaten alongside it. When prepared this way, with all the accompaniments, the flavor profile becomes more balanced. The saltiness and umami of the fish, combined with the creamy potatoes, sharp onion, and rich butter, create a surprisingly complex and, for some, enjoyable taste. Surströmming is a prime example of how necessity can be the mother of culinary invention. Salting and fermenting fish was historically a way to preserve food through long winters in Scandinavia. While modern refrigeration has made such methods less critical for survival, the tradition of surströmming endures, celebrated with annual surströmming parties, usually held in August. It's a food that demands respect, challenges the senses, and offers a direct taste of Swedish history and resourcefulness. It's not just about the smell, it's about the culture and community built around it. Chapter 5. Our culinary expedition now takes us to South Korea, a country renowned for its bold flavors and dynamic food scene. Here, we encounter sanakji, a dish that's as much about the experience as it is about the taste. Sanakji is live octopus, but not in the way you might immediately picture. A small octopus, or nakji, is expertly and swiftly dismembered, its tentacles cut into bite-sized pieces, and then served immediately while the nerve endings are still active, causing the pieces to squirm and wiggle on the plate. It's a spectacle that can be both fascinating and a little unnerving for the uninitiated. The preparation is quick and seemingly simple, yet requires skill to ensure the octopus is handled correctly. The chef takes a live octopus from a tank, and with a few deft movements it's cleaned and chopped. The tentacles are then typically seasoned lightly with sesame oil and sprinkled with sesame seeds before being presented to the diner. The visual of these still-moving pieces is undoubtedly the most striking aspect of sanakji. The suction cups on the tentacles can even stick to your plate, your chopsticks, or, importantly, the inside of your mouth and throat if you're not careful. Eating sanakji requires a bit of attention. Because the suction cups can adhere to surfaces, there's a genuine, albeit small, risk of choking if the pieces aren't chewed thoroughly. Diners are advised to chew vigorously to ensure the suckers lose their grip before swallowing. The texture is a key part of the appeal, chewy, slippery, and with that unique sensation of movement. The flavor itself is quite mild, a fresh taste of the sea, enhanced by the nutty aroma of sesame oil. For many Koreans, sanakji is prized for its freshness and the invigorating texture. Sanakji is often enjoyed in seafood markets and specialized restaurants, frequently accompanied by soju, a popular Korean spirit. It's considered by some to be a stamina-boosting food. Beyond the novelty, it represents a deep appreciation for the freshest possible ingredients, a hallmark of much Korean cuisine. It's a dish that challenges your perception of food, blurring the line between ingredient and meal in a very direct way. Trying sanakji is an immersion into a unique aspect of Korean food culture, an experience that's truly unforgettable, and certainly not for the squeamish. Chapter 6. We return to Japan, a country that truly understands the art of fermentation, to explore shiokara. This isn't a dish for the timid palate. It's an intensely flavored, deeply traditional concoction made from various marine animals, most commonly squid. The preparation involves mincing the creature's meat and then mixing it with its own heavily salted, fermented viscera. Yes, you heard that right, the guts. This mixture is then left to mature in a cool, dark place for up to a month, sometimes longer, allowing enzymes and microorganisms to work their magic, breaking down proteins and developing profound umami notes. The resulting product, shiokara, is a viscous, brownish paste with a powerful aroma that is unmistakably marine, salty, and intensely savory, with a distinct fermented tang. The texture can vary from slightly chunky to smooth, depending on the preparation and the main ingredient used, which can also include sea urchin gonads, sea cucumber, or various fish. It's a challenging flavor profile for many non-Japanese, often described as an acquired taste, but it holds a cherished place in Japanese gastronomy, particularly as an accompaniment to sake or a small, potent topping for a bowl of plain white rice. Eating shiokara is an experience that floods the senses. The initial hit is salty, followed by a wave of complex, funky umami flavors that linger on the palate. It's the kind of food that makes you pause and really think about what you're tasting. For those who appreciate it, shiokara is a delicacy, offering a depth of flavor that few other foods can match. It's often served in very small portions, a testament to its intensity. In Japanese culinary tradition, foods like shiokara are valued for their ability to stimulate the appetite and complement the subtle flavors of other dishes. Shiokara is a perfect example of chinmi, a category of Japanese delicacies that are rare, unusual, and often have strong, distinctive flavors. Like many fermented foods around the world, it originated as a method of preservation, a way to make the most of every part of the catch and extend its edibility. Today, it stands as a testament to Japan's sophisticated understanding of fermentation and its ability to transform humble ingredients into complex and highly prized culinary experiences. It's a deep dive into the more intense side of Japanese cuisine. Prepare yourselves because our next destination, the Italian island of Sardinia, is home to a cheese that quite literally crawls, casu marzu. Known as rotten cheese or maggot cheese, this traditional Sardinian sheep milk cheese is famous, or perhaps infamous, for containing live insect larvae. The process begins with pecorino sardo. Holes are cut into the rind, or it's left open to encourage the cheese fly to lay its eggs inside. As the eggs hatch, the larvae begin to eat their way through the cheese, their digestive processes breaking down the fats and fermenting it. The transformation wrought by these tiny creatures is remarkable. The cheese becomes incredibly soft, almost liquid in parts, with a strong, pungent aroma that many compare to very mature gorgonzola, but amplified. The larvae themselves, translucent white worms about 8 millimeters long, are very much a part of the experience. Some people remove them before eating, while others consume the cheese, larvae and all. The larvae can jump, sometimes up to 6 inches, so diners often shield their eyes or hold their hands over the cheese when eating it. The flavor of casu marzu is intensely sharp, piquant, and creamy, with a burning sensation that can linger. It's a taste that's undeniably unique and, for its devotees, incredibly delicious. This isn't just a novelty, it's a deeply rooted tradition in Sardinia, considered a delicacy and often brought out for special occasions like weddings or festivals. However, due to European Union food hygiene regulations, the sale of casu marzu has been technically illegal for some time, pushing it into the realm of a prized, illicit treat, often made and shared within local communities. Despite the legal gray areas and the obvious EUW factor for many, casu marzu represents a fascinating intersection of nature and culinary tradition. It's a testament to the resourcefulness of rural communities and their ability to create something extraordinary from simple ingredients, with a little help from the local insect population. It's a food that challenges our definitions of edibility and hygiene, forcing us to confront cultural differences in what is considered a delicacy. Love it or loathe it, casu marzu is an unforgettable taste of Sardinian heritage. From the controversial to the classic, we now head to the British Isles, England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, to explore a staple of the traditional full breakfast, black pudding. While perhaps not as visually shocking as live larvae, the primary ingredient in black pudding can certainly give some folks pause. This hearty sausage is made predominantly from pork blood, mixed with pork fat or beef suet, and a cereal filler such as oatmeal, oat groats or barley. Spices like pennyroyal, marjoram, thyme and mint often add to its distinctive flavor profile. The process of making black pudding is an ancient one, rooted in the frugal practice of using every part of the animal. After a pig was slaughtered, the blood would be collected, mixed with the other ingredients, and then stuffed into casings to be boiled, baked, or fried. The result is a dense, dark, almost black sausage with a rich, savory, and slightly metallic taste from the blood, balanced by the creamy texture of the fat and the wholesome chewiness of the oats. It's a food that has sustained working-class populations for centuries. When cooked, typically by frying or grilling slices, black pudding develops a slightly crispy exterior and a soft, crumbly interior. It's a key component of the full English, full Irish, or full Scottish breakfast, served alongside eggs, bacon, sausages, beans, and toast. But its versatility extends beyond breakfast. Chefs increasingly use it in gourmet dishes, pairing its robust flavor with scallops, game, or even in salads. Different regions have their own variations, with places like Barry in England and Stornoway in Scotland being particularly famous for their distinctive black puddings. While the thought of eating blood might be off-putting to some cultures, Black pudding and similar blood sausages are found in cuisines all over the world, from Spain's morcilla to Germany's blutwurst and Asia's coagulated blood cakes. It's a testament to the global culinary principle of thrift and flavor. Black pudding is more than just a breakfast item, it's a food with a deep history, a rich taste, and a surprisingly versatile character. It's a hearty, satisfying, and truly traditional bite that connects you to the culinary heritage of the British Isles. Our journey now takes us to southern Africa, specifically Zimbabwe and Botswana, where we find a protein-packed delicacy that might make some squirm mopane worms. These aren't actually worms, but the large, spiky caterpillars of the emperor moth. They feed primarily on the leaves of the mopane tree, hence their name. Harvesting them is a seasonal activity, typically done by hand by women and children in rural communities. It's a significant source of nutrition and income for many. Once harvested, the caterpillars are traditionally squeezed to expel their gut contents, a process that requires a bit of know-how. After this initial cleaning, they are prepared in various ways. Most commonly, they are dried in the sun or smoked, which preserves them and gives them a long shelf life. These dried mopane worms become incredibly crunchy and can be eaten as a snack straight from the bag, much like potato chips, or rehydrated and cooked into stews and sauces, often with tomatoes, onions, and chili. The taste of mopane worms is often described as nutty, earthy, or somewhat like tea leaves, especially when dried. When cooked in a stew, they absorb the flavors of the other ingredients and develop a chewier texture, sometimes compared to jerky or even a very well-done steak. They're incredibly rich in protein, reportedly containing up to 3 times the protein of beef by dry weight, as well as iron and calcium, making them a highly nutritious food source in regions where other protein sources might be scarce or expensive. Mopane worms are more than just a survival food. They are a cherished part of the local cuisine and culture in southern Africa. They represent a sustainable and readily available natural resource. As the world looks for more sustainable protein alternatives, indigenous foods like mopane worms are gaining attention. For the adventurous eater, trying them offers a unique taste of the African bush. A crunchy, savory bite that connects you to the land and the traditions of the people who have relied on them for generations. It's a true taste of the wild. Chapter 10. Let's venture to the Horn of Africa, to Ethiopia, a country with an ancient and incredibly unique culinary tradition. Here, we find kitfo, a beloved dish that might challenge those unaccustomed to eating raw meat. Kitfo is made from high-quality raw minced beef, which is then seasoned with mitmita, a fiery Ethiopian spice blend typically containing chili peppers, cardamom, cloves, and salt and niter kiba, a spiced clarified butter infused with herbs like fenugreek, cumin, and turmeric. It's a dish that's vibrant in both color and flavor. The preparation of kitfo is relatively simple but relies heavily on the quality of the ingredients. The beef must be exceptionally fresh and lean, often hand-minced, to achieve the desired texture. The niter kiba is gently warmed and mixed into the beef along with the mitmita just before serving. Kitfo can be served leb-leb, which means lightly warmed or seared on the edges, or, more traditionally, completely raw, tear. It's often accompanied by injera, the spongy Ethiopian flatbread, and sometimes with ayib, a mild, crumbly cheese similar to cottage cheese, to balance the richness and spice. The taste of kitfo is a symphony of sensations. The raw beef itself is tender and almost melts in your mouth. The niter kiba adds a rich, buttery, aromatic dimension, while the mitmita provides a powerful, lingering heat and complex spice notes. It's a dish that's both luxurious and intensely flavorful. In Ethiopia, kitfo is considered a festive dish, often served at celebrations, holidays, and special gatherings. It's a food that signifies community and shared enjoyment, often eaten by hand, using pieces of injera to scoop up the flavorful meat. Eating raw meat dishes like kitfo is common in Ethiopian cuisine and reflects a long-standing culinary heritage. While it might seem daring to some, for Ethiopians, it's a normal and highly prized part of their diet. It speaks to a trust in their butchers, and a deep understanding of how to prepare and season ingredients to their best advantage. Trying kitfo is an immersion into the heart of Ethiopian hospitality, and it's bold and... Chapter 11. Our culinary journey now takes us high into the Andes Mountains of South America to Peru and Ecuador, where we encounter cuy, or roasted guinea pig. Now, for many in the Western world, guinea pigs are beloved pets, so the idea of eating them can be quite confronting. But in this part of the world, Cuy has been a staple food source for thousands of years, predating even the Incas. It's a significant part of the Andean culture and cuisine, far removed from its status as a furry companion elsewhere. Cuy are typically raised domestically for consumption, much like chickens or rabbits in other cultures. They are often roasted whole, sometimes stuffed with herbs and spices, and cooked over an open flame or in an oven until the skin is golden brown and crispy. The presentation is usually quite direct. The entire animal, head and feet included, is served on the plate. This can be a bit startling for the uninitiated, but it's a traditional way of showing respect for the animal and ensuring nothing goes to waste. The taste of cuy is often compared to dark chicken meat or rabbit. It's relatively lean, with a rich, slightly gamey flavor that can be quite delicious, especially when well seasoned and cooked to achieve that crispy skin, which is considered a delicacy by many. The meat can be a bit tricky to eat due to the small bones, but it's a rewarding experience for those willing to try. In Peru and Ecuador, cuy is not just everyday food, it's often served on special occasions, festivals, and as a treat for honored guests. Understanding cuy requires looking beyond our own cultural norms. For Andean people, it's a sustainable, readily available source of protein, perfectly adapted to the high-altitude environment. It's depicted in ancient pottery and even in religious art, such as a famous painting of the Last Supper in Cusco Cathedral where cuy is the centerpiece. Eating cuy is a way to connect with a deep-rooted culinary tradition, a taste of history, and an appreciation for how different cultures utilize the resources available to them. It's a dish that truly embodies the spirit of Andean cuisine. Let's fly over to Colombia, a land of incredible biodiversity, where we find a snack that's both crunchy and, shall we say, uniquely endowed, hormiga culona, or big-bottomed ants. These are leafcutter ants of the species, specifically the large queens, which are harvested during a short rainy season, primarily in the Santander department of Colombia. The culona part of their name refers to their noticeably large abdomens, which are the prized edible part. The harvesting of hormigas culonas is a tradition that dates back centuries to pre-Columbian indigenous cultures like the Guan people, who considered them a delicacy and even an aphrodisiac. The ants are typically captured as they emerge from their nests for their nuptial flight. Once collected, their legs and wings are removed, and the bodies, particularly those nutrient-rich abdomens, are then toasted or fried, often with a bit of salt. This process gives them a wonderfully crunchy texture. So, what do these famous ants taste like? Many people describe the flavor as nutty, earthy, and sometimes even a bit like popcorn or bacon with a satisfying crunch. They are sold by street vendors in markets and even packaged as gourmet snacks. While they might seem like a novelty to outsiders, for the people of Santander, hormigas culonas are a seasonal treat, a source of local pride, and a reminder of their ancestral heritage. They are also surprisingly nutritious, packed with protein and low in fat. The tradition of entomophagy, or eating insects, is widespread across the globe, and hormigas culonas are a prime example of how insects can be a delicious and sustainable food source. As the world grapples with food security and environmental concerns, insects are increasingly being recognized for their potential. Trying hormigas culonas is not just about tasting an unusual snack. It's about experiencing a unique cultural tradition, appreciating local biodiversity, and perhaps even expanding your definition of what constitutes food. They're a crunchy, savory bite of Colombian culture. Our next stop brings us to the rugged ranchlands of the American West and parts of Canada, where a dish with a rather misleading name graces local menus: Rocky Mountain oysters. Let's be clear, these are not bivalves plucked from some alpine stream. No, Rocky Mountain oysters, also known by other colorful euphemisms like prairie oysters, calf fries, or cowboy caviar, are actually bull testicles, typically from young calves castrated during the spring branding season. It's a classic example of nose-to-tail eating born from ranching traditions. The preparation usually involves peeling the testicles, then slicing them, and often pounding them flat. They are then typically coated in flour, pepper, and salt, or a seasoned batter, and deep-fried until golden brown and crispy. Sometimes they are grilled or sautéed. The goal is to achieve a tender interior and a crunchy exterior. They are often served as an appetizer, perhaps with a cocktail sauce for dipping, or as part of a larger meal at festivals and community gatherings in ranching country. And the taste? Many people are pleasantly surprised. When prepared well, Rocky Mountain oysters have a texture that's often compared to calamari or even tender veal, with a mild, slightly gamey flavor that takes on the seasoning well. The crispy coating from frying adds a satisfying contrast. For those who grow up in ranching communities, they are a normal, even cherished part of the local culinary landscape, a food that represents resourcefulness and a connection to the land and the livestock industry. Rocky Mountain oysters are more than just a culinary curiosity or a dare for tourists. They are a genuine folk food with deep roots in the American West. They reflect a time when no part of an animal was wasted, a practical approach to food that has sustained communities for generations. While the name might be a bit coy, the dish itself is a straightforward, hearty, and for many delicious taste of cowboy culture. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unusual-sounding dishes can offer a surprisingly palatable and culturally rich experience. For our final extreme food in this first installment, we journey down under to Australia to delve into the ancient culinary traditions of its indigenous peoples. Here, we find the witchetty grub, a large white larva that is the larval stage of several species of moths, most notably the cossid moth. These grubs are a significant food source in Aboriginal bush tucker, particularly in the arid regions of Central Australia, where they feed on the roots of the witchetty bush and other acacia species. Harvesting witchetty grubs requires traditional knowledge of the land, knowing where to look and how to carefully extract them from the soil or the roots of trees without damaging them. They are prized for their high protein and fat content, making them an incredibly energy-rich food in an often harsh environment. Indigenous Australians have been consuming these grubs for tens of thousands of years, and they feature prominently in Dreamtime stories and traditional art, highlighting their cultural significance. Witchetty grubs can be eaten either raw or lightly cooked. When eaten raw, they are said to have a creamy texture and a subtle nutty flavor, sometimes likened to almonds or even scrambled eggs. When cooked, traditionally by roasting them lightly in hot ashes from a campfire, the skin becomes crispy, similar to roast chicken skin, and the inside takes on a consistency like cooked egg yolk or soft cheese. The flavor also intensifies, becoming richer and more savory. This isn't just about survival. Witchetty grubs are considered a delicacy, a flavorsome and nutritious gift from the land. They represent a deep connection to country and an incredible understanding of the natural environment. As with many indigenous foods, there's a growing appreciation for their culinary and nutritional value beyond their traditional consumers. Trying witchetty grub is more than just an adventurous bite. It's an opportunity to engage with one of the world's oldest living cultures and to taste a food that has sustained people for millennia. It's a true taste of the Australian outback. And there you have it, folks, our first incredible dive into the world of extreme foods. From the potentially perilous fugu in Japan, to the wriggling sanakji of South Korea, the pungent hakarl of Iceland, and the nutrient-rich witchetty grubs of Australia, we've tasted traditions, challenged our palates, and hopefully opened our minds just a little bit wider. Food is such a powerful storyteller, isn't it? It tells us about history, about resourcefulness, about celebration, and about what it means to be human in different corners of our amazing planet. Thanks so much for joining us, Who Knows, on this leg of our extreme food journey. It's been an honor to share these fascinating and sometimes formidable dishes with you. Remember, the line between bizarre and beloved is often just a matter of perspective and cultural understanding. Every dish has a story, and every flavor is a doorway into another world. We hope you've enjoyed this taste of the extraordinary and feel inspired to explore the diverse culinary landscape that surrounds us. But hold on, the adventure is far from over. This was just part one of our extreme food series, and trust me, there are so many more astonishing, challenging, and utterly unique dishes waiting for us. If you want to see what other mind-blowing meals we uncover, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single bite. We can't wait to share the continuation of our extreme food series in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay hungry, and see you next time.